You do need to know, folks, and you don't have to hold on it much longer. How's that one?
You were a little late with it. They'd already moved to the next verse.
Oh, I know.
It wasn't bad.
I want him to cut the music off right when he says you need to know, because then I can come on and say you do.
And it would probably work well, but
maybe I should tell the board op that.
Or you could just keep hoping, kind of a random chance
Wishing
thing.
and hoping.
Wishing.
Yeah, that's my life.
Aww.
Anyway, folks, you're listening to the hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS, the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John. It's my favorite part of the show. It's Heather's highlights. It's the news director from KHTS, Heather Harbin.
Okay, that was a little creepy, Doug. Please promise me you're not going to do that again. The look, and we're probably on YouTube, and you can probably see us. Oh. That look was pretty horrible. No, the camera's there, Doug. All right, so Heather, Doug definitely has a face for radio, but that's not news. What is news?
Well, this week there were some pretty major stories and a bunch of pretty sad stories, actually. Unfortunately, I feel bad every time I come on the show. I seem to talk about sad things.
That is true.
Sad things are what makes news.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. There were a few deaths over this week. A man who barricaded himself in a shed in Canyon Country last Wednesday night until early Thursday morning was identified just this morning. Actually, his name was Corey Kiefer. He is 31 years old, and his residence where he resides is unknown. According to the coroner's office.
Do they know why and the facts surrounding that? Because that was a little weird standoff thing.
Yes, he was originally spotted in front of a liquor store on Langside Avenue at Soledad Canyon Road. He was spotted by deputies. He ran away, and he ran through the Santa Clara Wash. Then shortly thereafter, they heard reports of residents who said they saw a man matching Corey Kiefer's description running through their yard. They searched for a few hours, and then they broke down the containment area. Yeah. And then a few hours later, they found him in the shed. And
behind somebody's house.
In someone's backyard, actually.
Gotcha.
It was on Babbian Street in Canyon Country.
Oh yeah.
Right off of Camp Plenty Road.
Right.
Weird.
There was multiple attempts to bring him out peacefully. He ended up dying from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So they tried multiple attempts to bring him out peacefully, but when there was he did say he was armed and suicidal. They were trying to bring him out peacefully, but after there was no communication with the suspect for a long amount of time, they went into the shed and found him deceased. That happened about 2:30 a.m. on Thursday.
That's a horrible story.
Yeah.
What other horrible stories you got for us?
Well, there was actually a fatal crash that occurred on Sierra Highway just yesterday morning as well. It happened at about 4:50 a.m. near the intersection of Sierra Highway and Placerita Canyon Road. His name is Dale Zach. He was 28 years old, and he lived in Lancaster. His motorcycle collided with another vehicle in the intersection. A car exiting the 14 freeway right at Placerita Canyon Road entered the intersection, and the motorcycle broadsided the vehicle.
Oh, jeez.
Dale Zach was pronounced dead on scene, and a portion of Sierra Highway was actually closed following the crash, but was reopened a few hours later. However, the investigation into the cause of the crash is ongoing. They don't know if the driver was speeding, if he ran a stop sign. They don't. There's nothing.
The motorcycle hit the car. The car didn't hit the motorcycle.
Yes. The motorcycle hit the car. There's no information right now about the cause.
That's gonna be a tough one to recreate. Yeah. That's still horrible.
Yeah. Very horrible. Yeah.
Okay, what next?
And then one other, an advocate for the End of Life Option Act. Her name is Christy O'Donnell. You guys may have.
She was in the news quite a bit.
She was
several months ago.
She actually died on Saturday after over a year-long battle with cancer.
Right.
She was 46 years old and was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer on June 25th of 2014, and it already spread to her brain and her spine, rib, and liver.
And she was advocating for...
She was advocating for the End of Life Option Act, which is basically
the
people
death with dignity, the euthanasia.
People who were terminally ill had the option.
Not the little Chinese kids, Doug. Okay, euthanasia.
I know that.
Yeah, she.
Joke.
O'Donnell did post a final message to her Facebook page by her sister, and she said she had lived an amazing life, filled to the brim with with love, laughter, and joy. She said so.
That's more of an uplifting story. And you've turned the page a little bit. You're getting better because that's a little bit. That's like, okay, somebody who understood how to live life and how to no longer live life.
Because essentially, she knew that this was. Yeah. It was She knew she was actually allergic to morphine, so she knew she was going to die painfully from this disease, and that's why she was advocating for this for the end of life option.
Kind of like what is it song? Live like you were dying. Doug? It's a country western song. You know it. You're
Tim McGraw.
Okay. I'm trying to help because it's depressing in here.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Heather.
Well, let's move on to a happier note.
Okay.
The Lemley Theater Project in Old Town.
That's happier.
Oh, geez.
You got to be kidding me.
Oh no.
You stepped on a landmine.
All right,
you
go
just
ahead. Sorry.
Well, it was our city council approved it last night Tuesday night in a 3-1 vote. Councilwoman Lorraine West, she recused herself from voting because of her proximity from her home to the site where it's going to be built, and Tim Bedboyston was the only council person voting no.
I was going to ask if I could park in her garage or park in her driveway. If I go to the movies here, I want to be able to guarantee my parking.
John, let's put Heather on the spot a little bit.
Okay.
You were at the meeting, right?
I was.
What was the atmosphere, the mood of the meeting?
Within the okay.
Oh, yeah,
now hang on, Doug.
I know she's not.
She's the news director.
I know.
Within the bounds of your duties as news director, if you feel you can't answer, tell Doug to take a flying leap. Okay, you can do that. But did you? We noted a lot of animosity, a lot of anger, a lot of angst.
No, only with certain instances. The meeting did run until about 11:15 at night, so I'm not quite sure if people's anger stemmed from them being tired or anything of that.
Maybe.
That's
think
nice.
not.
See, I thought I was even because I was there for a portion of it, and I thought even some of the public comments were a little snippy. I mean, there was a couple that were like a little digs here or there. You don't have to comment. Just saying, John, I can't comment.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not able to comment on that.
That's good. Okay.
Yes, but it was a bit of a more tense atmosphere.
But you would say it was an emotional meeting.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's fair. Yeah. I didn't want to put you on the spot and have. So who did it and when? No, we're not do that. But I picked that up on both sides of the.
Yeah, I was watching on television and I picked it up.
Yeah, on both sides of this, and I was like, wow. And we won't ask you the question I thought of, which is, wow, this is how our city is going to be run with this kind of unprofessional.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this is. I wouldn't say it's unful. Maybe it's just a one instance. Who knows?
Maybe overly emotional.
Possibly. Okay. The meeting did run for a little under 5 hours, so it was.
So were you ready to go home before it was over?
Oh yes. it was interesting though to hear everybody's opinions.
Did you get paid overtime for that?
Yeah.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
The labor board could be listening.
I was going to say you didn't have to answer that, but I'm glad you did. That's pretty cool. Yeah. All right. Well, Heather, the harbinger of bad news.
Okay. She's got to report the news. She can't pick the news. She reports it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I hope I can have some happier stories for you next week.
If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, Heather Hartman, everybody. Heather's highlights.
What have we learned? Drive safely.
Correct.
Wear a motorcycle helmet and don't after 2 o'clock at night, nothing good happens.
Yep.
Go home. Yep. After 1 o'clock at night, nothing good happens. And what else? The city council pretty much is exactly what we said it was before.
Yep.
And that's about all we got.
All right, Heather.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Heather. All right, Doug. This is what we got. You ready? Sports. What do you think? You saw the Super Bowl. We haven't talked about this at all.
Now, we don't have our panel with us this week, but there's only one gentleman that picked the game correctly.
That is true.
Only
we're not
one out
having,
of 5.
We don't need Brandon on anymore. That's for sure.
Right. We're trying to get Mr. Sports as we speak.
Yeah, but we can talk about it. Yep. You saw it. You watched the game.
I picked Carolina to win 35-14. I just thought the way that they played against Arizona with that offense and Cam Newton, that Denver's defense would not be able to.
It struck me as we should get the station manager in here. We should get Kyle Jones because if he's around.
Is he working today?
I don't know. Anyway, no, this is what struck me. That was an interesting game to watch because if you think about it, at any point in time, did you think Carolina was not going to win the game?
Not till the end, no.
Until the very end.
Yeah.
I didn't think.
I thought any minute now
they were going to explode. And here's Kyle Jones, Mr. Sports stand-in.
All right.
We're still trying to get Mr. Sports on.
Did I just get a new title?
Mr. Sports
just for today.
Yeah, I like that.
Mr. Sports stand-in.
Mr. Sports stand-in.
So, all right. So
wait, hang on. I got to look at something.
What?
Kyle
Yeah,
Carolina
Kyle
to win
picked Carolina.
27-21.
I did.
Yeah. I picked them 35-14, so don't feel bad.
I felt good at halftime, but what you were saying, yes, I felt exactly the same way.
Anytime they were going to win.
Yeah, I thought Cam Newton was just that last drive, the one where he fumbled. I thought that was it. I thought,
as soon as
he's going to drive down and score right now.
Now let's talk about how Cam Newton has been handled since then. Okay.
The thing is, with Cam Newton, it's fine. It's absolutely totally fine if you dance around and stuff like that. If you own up to losing like that, you can't be a sore loser if you're going to dance for 7 seconds after a touchdown.
Mr. Sports, do you agree?
Mr. Sports on?
Sports is on. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, here I am.
As the only person who picked Denver to win the Super Bowl, probably in America, except for possibly people in Denver. What do you think about Cam Newton?
Cam Newton, I think Cam Newton's getting like the worst rap I've ever seen in sports in a long time. Hold on just 1 second.
Oh, okay.
I agree. But is it deservedly so? I don't know how you can defend him for the way he's handling this. Show me a sore loser and I'll show you, or show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser. Give me a break.
The thing that is really angering me about the Cam Newton situation. So Cam Newton, they wait, and this is what the media just kind of does. It's manipulative. We want to see the human side of things of the athlete, but only when it's portrayed in a good light. We only want the feel-good story, but we catch them at the worst or the best times of their lives. And we ask them questions and we badger them, and we got a human side of Cam Newton that apparently we didn't want to see. But why not? Because that is Cam Newton, and he says, yes, I'm a sore loser, but that is who I am.
Listen.
And if we want the human side of these athletes, we have to take it as everything.
But no.
Or better.
No.
That's insane.
No. Oh my goodness, no way. Listen, he had every right. Okay, fine. How about this? Hey, look, I just lost. I'm not happy. I don't want to talk to you now.
Yep, love it. Love it.
What's wrong with that? No comment. Instead, he has to say something stupid.
It's not the fact that, because if Jay Cutler just loses the Super Bowl, he walks off like that. Okay, whatever. It's Jay Cutler. But when you're dancing for 7 seconds, you're dabbing on the sidelines, taking selfies and stuff like that, and you say to the media, if you guys don't want me to dance, then stop me from scoring.
They stopped him,
and then they stop you from scoring, and then you pout like this. That's ridiculous. You can't. Sorry, I cannot forgive him for this.
Yeah, and the whole Ricky Bobby quote, you're not first, you're last.
Yeah.
Anybody else catch that?
I don't like, because the year before, Russell Wilson threw probably the biggest interception in the history of football. Not the history of the Super Bowl, in the history of football. So, he handled it with class. And I just get upset. I get upset.
Turn your mic off.
They're different people. It's dehumanizing to think like, oh, he has to react the exact same way as Russell Wilson. I, for one, like to see the human side of sports. It's something that we rarely get to see, and we get to see it, and he's villainized for it.
All right, I get
so much worse than Cam Newton.
I get what you're saying. That was raw emotion. Okay, but I understand that, and I think Kyle's incorrect, because it is raw emotion. Okay,
that's mature emotion.
But it's not. I don't think it's mature. And Doug's very smart because he's mature.
Maturer than all of us by many.
Easy.
Wow. It's not. I don't know whether it's something that we want to see in our sports figures.
No.
We want to see good sports. I don't want to see a good loser, but I want to see a good sport when you lose.
Right.
Picture the greatest quarterback of all time. I don't care whether you want to say it's Tom Brady or Mark Rippon or Sonny Jurgensen or anybody else. No,
could you see all credibility.
Could you see Joe? That was a joke, people. Could you see Joe Montana saying something like that?
Yeah.
No. Classy.
Well, know for a fact that Joe Montana goes onto the sidelines of it used to at Thousand Oaks at Oaks Christian and tried to coach his own kids.
Oh, of course. But would he sit there and
okay, if you mind, I want to say something. I want to say something right now. My son is 5 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
I play Uno with him all the time. He's very good at Uno. He has beaten me at Uno. Okay. He's lost to a 5-year-old at Uno. Okay.
That's going on your resume.
He gets up and he starts dancing around and stuff. He's 5. Okay. He starts dancing around. I'm like, dude, you can do that, but make sure you say good game to the other players. Okay. And then he loses. He pouts and stuff. This is something you learn when you're 5 years old to be a good sport. And when you're 26 years old and you're dancing around like a crazy person, you can't treat the media like this. You can't treat the fans like this.
All right, so wait a minute. Okay, so Mr. Sports, you were absolutely fine with his curt answers and the loser comments and things like that, right?
I'm just glad to see him be himself.
Okay.
He allows himself to be himself, which is very rare. It wasn't a canned response. Could he have been nicer about it? Yeah, but I'm glad to see the raw, real emotion, and I hate that it's being villainized.
Okay.
That's my main point about that.
All right.
But I do see where you're coming from. He could have handled it better. He could have been more mature, but I liked what I saw from him emotionally.
But see, here's my problem, and Kyle, stop shaking your head. But here's my problem. I understand that, and I understand the argument of, we have to be good sports and say good game, even though you think you got robbed on a bad call and all this other stuff. Okay, whatever.
He got beat, by the way. He didn't get robbed.
I know,
he got destroyed.
but okay, you're at a game and you get beat by a bad call. Yeah. You still have to go good game. Okay, horrible. Whatever. Okay. Or the other team doesn't show good sportsmanship and you still have to go good game and shake hands. The best thing in hockey ever, the best thing in sports ever is the handshake after the playoff series. Okay, you want to kill the other guy.
This is why hockey is unpopular, by the way, is because they have good sportsmanship.
Yeah,
there's no issues among the players.
But here's the point. Here's a point, Mr. Sports, that I think you're missing. He's the face of your franchise.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's the leader of your team, and have him act in a way that's not. And I hate this word because everybody's got different definitions of it, and I'll use air quotes, classy. Okay? He never once gave credit to the other team for the way that they played.
Right.
He never once said, man, they took me out of my game. They beat the crud out of me. And he never acknowledged anything other than that. It was just, whatever. No, go away. I lost. You're a loser. If you lose, you're a loser. I'm not a good loser. Bye. That's not what I want it's hard to get behind somebody like that when they lose. Okay?
I get that. No,
it's great to be behind them when they win because you're dancing with them.
Right.
That's the only thing that I think is immature.
Yeah, no, there's some things that he definitely should have done better. Like, he should have given credit to the Broncos because the Broncos defense completely took him out of the game.
Oh, they destroyed him.
That was, I think it wasn't just Cam Newton, by the way. In this loss, the coaching staff totally underestimated the Denver defense because they're like, we're just going to do what we do. We're not going to adjust to what you guys do, which Wade Phillips deserved to be MVP of that game.
And you know who didn't get enough credit was Wade Phillips.
Yeah, you're absolutely
Wade Phillips was most valuable person in that.
The head coach Gary Kubiak had really nothing to do with the defense. Wade Phillips should have got.
Mike Shula did not have a particularly great game of, hey, I got an idea. Let's roll Cam Newton out of the pocket a little bit and maybe throw a pass.
The thing that upset me, too, is because I said on this show the week before, I loved seeing him dance. I absolutely loved it. I loved seeing him doing the Superman, doing the dab.
You did.
I love it, but you just can't do it if you go out to the media and say, I just said this, but if you go out and say, if you don't want me to dance, stop me.
Right.
And then you just totally sunk it in. It just upsets me.
Should we bring in the dead horse so you can beat it again?
Gosh, man. Just upsets me.
All right, let's change the subject.
All right, changing the subject.
What about Peyton? Is he retiring?
Gosh.
Oh, you're going to ask Mr. Sports this so he can be right again?
He is retiring. He hasn't said it, but he's going to.
The answer is they're out there.
He has to, right?
Yeah. You'll see I'm right.
I know you're going to be right, and it's going to be horrible.
He has to be right. Or he has to retire.
Only because you said it was a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
It's like the Patrick Ewing. Remember everybody remember the Patrick Ewing draft going to the Knicks? He could have gone somewhere absolutely horrendous, but it was the cold envelope. The envelope was in the freezer, and the commissioner put his hand and he pulled out the envelope that was the coldest, and it was the New York Knicks. Remember that? It's the same stupid conspiracy.
I don't
theory
think
garbage you have to understand.
Coming from a Bullets fan.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whose fan you are.
Mr. Sports wasn't even born.
It's all entertainment. Sports is all entertainment, and isn't this the great feel-good story that we want to see? John Elway gets to go out on top now. His protege, Peyton Manning, gets to go out on top for the Broncos both. It's a great story that we want to see. The public wants it. The public needs it.
As a Baltimore Colts fan, I hate both of them.
I saw it as a good story either way, though. I saw it as if Cam Newton would have won, it would have been the future of the NFL kind of a thing.
Right.
And Peyton Manning, I saw it as a win-win for the NFL. Like the NFL needs a win-win.
Yeah.
But,
wouldn't you have to look at this point saying that Carolina has a good shot of being back next year?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
With Calvin Benjamin coming back?
Benjamin coming back? Yeah,
absolutely.
If they can keep the defense together.
You know, something I did hear something on Sports Talk Radio that I thought was actually fascinating. We should look at all the teams that have never won the Super Bowl and to see who is going to be who's the favorite to win the Super Bowl of all the teams that have never won a Super Bowl.
Cardinals
have never won. Cincinnati's never won.
Cincinnati might be pretty good next year. This is the way too early predictions.
Yeah, I know.
Seattle, Cincinnati stays healthy. That's good news for them.
All right,
anyway,
gentlemen, study up on your March Madness. University of Maryland is now the number 2 team in the country. Thank you very much.
I got a question. What are we going to do for the next 3 weeks till March Madness comes?
Can't talk about college basketball because it doesn't mean anything until March. So
we pitchers and catchers are reporting, gentlemen.
That's true.
Nuba. Mr. Sports, we have an assignment for you. You're in charge of what we're talking about the next 3 weeks.
Sports content for 3 weeks. There you go.
I'll take that burden on because I love you guys.
Can we talk about Sting playing the halftime show at the NBA game real quick?
We
NBA
did.
All-Star game? Can we just talk about that for a minute?
Oh, what about Coldplay at the halftime with what's her name?
That was pretty bad.
And Bruno Mars. Coldplay just kind of showed up.
Yeah, the NFL can't. The NBA can't spell demographics.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, when they had like Tom Petty on, it was just Tom Petty. When they had Springsteen on, it was just Springsteen. Why did they bring them together?
Doug,
what?
Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, you've been listening to Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Cruz hometown station. We are back with a brand new show next week and new sports content. Right, Mr. Sports? Thanks, guys. Thanks, gentlemen. We are out.
See ya.